Today's video is all about analyzing the strongest attack in Albion Online. How much power do we need to insta-kill players with it? How much defense do you need to survive? And finding the bare minimum gear required to one-shot players of different item powers. Let's get into it. So first off, the most powerful attack in the game is not exactly what I'm showing today. I'm showing off the Dagger pair's E spell and a few other combinations of items. Now, I do know that there are stronger attacks in the game. For instance, the Cursed Staff's E explosion here, Death Curse, does deal more damage. However, this requires stacking 4 curses, hoping they don't have a counter or an immunity or a reaction to your Death Curse. The other one would also be the crossbow skill tree down here, where the crossbows just have the snipe ability, which deals an insane amount of damage. However, this has a charge up, a long cast time, and it draws a red line from you to the target, giving them ample time to react, whereas the Dagger's E ability does not give them any time to react. And let me explain how this works. Essentially, you can 100 to 0 someone with the following combo. So let's pretend the target dummy I have selected right now is an enemy player. I am completely off their screen. They can't see my nameplate. They can't even hear me. So I'm going to charge up my Q spell, drink an invisibility potion, and go invisible. And then I'm going to walk towards the target, and before my invisibility potion runs out, I'm going to use my assassin jacket to remain in stealth. And then once I have charges, I'm going to push E. Well, I didn't do the combo right, but you E them after boots, and then laser beam, auto attack, and then W. And the damage is ridiculously, supremely high. Now, the damage would have been higher if I pulled the combo off correctly, but I'm not reshooting this. You get the idea. Essentially, the combo is as follows. We're using Rotten Ground from the Cultist Sandals to reduce their damage resistance. Then we use the E spell, or we're using the Assassin Spirit 3 stacks with the E spell to deal as much damage as possible. Afterwards, we auto-attack them, triggering the Thetford Cape, which, honestly, the Thetford Cape deals less damage than the Brazilian Cape or the Avalonian Cape. Yes, the Avalonian Cape. But this goes off much faster before the player can react. Also, we then hit them with Cal of Purity, or you can use a Mage Cal, but the Cal of Purity is instant damage, whereas Mage Cal is damage over time, giving them less time to react. And that is the full combo. We use an 8.1 beef stew because that's affordable, and we're only using 100 spec in our weapon, helmet, and boots, because that is achievable for most players. 120 spec is very unachievable even for the richest of players. So what I have here is another human character, which is my alt character, which will be using different tiers of gear, tier 5, tier 5.2, and 8.4 respectively, and I will be adjusting my gear up and down to see how much power we need to one-shot the target. The first test will be a max spec flat 5 Avalonian cloth user, in which case we're going to see if our combo does over 2,688 HP. It should, but we're going to be testing a lot of things here. So we have 10 stacks, hit him with the boots, hit him with the E, and yeah, he's instantly dead. Alright. The next test we'll see if we can just use a flat 5 dagger for the same effect. And yeah, it's still kind of a one-shot, huh? Now, I just want to show off how fast we can actually do the combo here. I've got to actually wait on my Assassin Jacket cooldown. But essentially, when we go invis off-screen, the player will never know we're coming. This is how you gank people that are gathering, or like opening a chest, or farming open world mobs. And that's kind of the entire point of the build. We're just doing damage testing here. As soon as we hit 10 on the Assassin Jacket and 3 stacks on a Q. So, boots into E, into auto attack, into all of our abilities, and yes, that is still a one-shot, insanely fast. There is almost no time for that person to react. This time, we will be doing a test against a full 8.4, 120 maximum spec plate wearer. I don't expect to kill this one, but it'll be interesting nonetheless. So and remember, the target's still bleeding, and we would still be auto-attacking, but we were able to deal 60% of that target's HP, which is still really, really remarkably good. Now, we know we can't kill the plate, so how about leather? Can we destroy leather? Let's find out. Well, let's see. After the bleed ticks, and we dealt 80% of its life, about. Not bad. So this is interesting, because, it's only a 20% life difference between leather and plate, apparently, for this combo. Very, very good knowledge. Now we're doing the same test but against cloth. We should be able to kill this with the full combo. And we did. Yep, as expected, cloth cannot survive even at maximum gear and maximum spec. And Avalonian gear is the one that gives you the most HP and defenses as possible, so even at 120 spec across the board, you will still die to one combo from an 8.4. This is just a 100 spec dagger, by the way. 100 spec, not even 120. If we pumped it all to 120, I still don't think we can kill the other builds. And that's the result, dies to full combo. Oh, and this was test number 4, not number 3, my bad. This time we're testing just flat 5 plate. Let's see if plate is the reason why things are surviving. So boots into E, into auto, W, and laser. Yeah, it's a full combo death. So by default, since it destroys the plate in full combo, we can also determine that it will destroy leather and cloth of the same value. Let's try weakening our weapons until we get a nice even ground. This time we're starting with a flat 5 dagger build here. Same exact thing. Boots into E, into auto, into W, into laser, and let the bleed tick down. And flat 5 plate survives at 40% life. So here's the result, 60% damage. We need better weapons, so let's upgrade. This time we'll try with a flat 8 dagger, and see if we get similar results. And it looks like still not enough damage. We dealt 20% more damage than before with 300 extra item power. Now, mathematically, if we went 8.3, we should be able to take this target down in one full combo. But what about 8.2? Alright, this is 8.2. This should kill him. Should. Alright, let's see if the bleed ticks down, and... oh, 4 health. Okay, that's basically a kill. That's like 1 auto attack, boys. It's full combo plus 1 auto. And there we go, we can now determine that any plate user around 1,384 item power or around 2,600 HP is simply not worth targeting unless you are very rich and want to go out an 8.3 or above dagger pair build. Again, just avoid plate. For the rest of the video, we're not going to be testing on plate anymore. Alright, I had to do one more test, the 5.2 plate versus 8.4 dagger. Surely this one may or may not. This one is still a one-shot for the 8.4. Alright, well that's not enough plate. You gotta have more than 5.2 apparently. Full combo still kills 5.2 plate. How much plate must we stack on until it no longer kills? Alright, this is the 8.0 plate. So let's see it. And... well, I think the bleed might get them. Nope, they do survive even with a few extra autos. So there we go, flat 8 plate is the way to go. 1,744 item power will let you barely survive against an 8.4 dagger. Here are the results. Now granted, if we pushed our daggers from 100 spec to 120 across the board, it would probably still kill a flat 8 plate user in 120 spec. But... it's not something I'm ever going to level up to 120, so I'm not going to test it. Now let's see how the 8.4 cloth does against a 5.0 dagger. You know, the cheapest versus the most expensive. Alright. And it's pretty dang squishy, but the cloth does survive with, it looks like about 50% HP actually. So we're going to have to upgrade our dagger to be able to kill 8.4 cloth users, it seems. This time we're using an 8.0 dagger, and we'll find out if it's lethal or not. And, well, let's see. Flat 8 dagger versus 8.4 cloth. Still not enough to kill it. Only dealt around 77% damage. This time we'll try an 8.2 dagger. Alright, let's see. Does the bleed... 8.2 is still not killing it. Damn. 8.4 is really powerful. So we can determine that you need at least an 8.3 dagger minimum to kill an 8.4 cloth wearer, which is really weird to me, how the defense and the damage aren't quite lining up. Time to see if the 8.4 dagger can kill the 5.2 leather. So, armor shred, yeah, it's pretty easy. It essentially died to the half the combo. So now we'll see with the flat 5 dagger if that'll do it. And doesn't look like it. Still a lot of damage, but it's not lethal damage. The target seems to survive with about 25% remaining HP, or we deal 75% damage. We'll see if we can do it with just a flat 8 dagger. We should. Sounds about right. Yeah, we're doing way more chunky damage, and the bleed might take him out. Oh, he's left with 60 health. So like 2 more autos, it looks like. So there we go. Now we know what we need to defeat a 5.2 Avalonian leather user at 1584 IP over 3000 HP. Now we know flat 5 dagger beats flat 5 cloth, but what about 5.2 cloth? Let's find out. Still doing very large chunks of damage here. Will the bleed take him out? Not exactly. So how about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 3 extra autos. So 5.2 is the minimum you would need to not just die to full combo. If you have amazing reaction time, you could possibly run away before those 3 extra auto attacks, get shot out, but most likely, no, you're basically dead. The final test is against flat 5 Avalonian leather. Let's see if we can one-shot it. I don't know if we can, but let's see, flat 5 dagger. Not quite. Still left with 300 HP, which is too many autos, honestly. So we need a slightly stronger dagger to take out this target. Now we have a 5.1 dagger set up. Let's see if that's enough to kill him. Alright, still not exactly enough. 140 HP, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about, 4 autos. It's still not strong enough, though. Yeah, we want the one-shot. We don't want the target to be able to run away, escape, or receive a heal. Now, I'm using a 6 this time, which is a very tiny increase in power, so let's see. Alright, still... I mean, come on, it's like 60 HP, that's like 1 or 2 autos. I think that's about where we're gonna end it here, is flat 6 will kill flat 5 leather. I don't think most players, like 99% of players, aren't going to be able to react in time whenever you jump them with this. So there we have it. Now let's compile the data that we've collected. And I'm aware this is actually supposed to be test 18, but whatever. Oh well. Here are the results. A flat 5 dagger will beat a flat 5 cloth. Now remember, the armors are 120 max spec, whereas our daggers are only 100 max spec. Alright, so the flat 6 dagger beats the flat 5 leather. The 5.2 dagger beats the 5.2 cloth. The flat 8 dagger beats 5.2 leather, which 5.2 leather, very strong, very recommended, 5.2 and up. 8.2 dagger. Now that beats the flat 5 plate user, which it takes a lot to beat plate. 8.4 dagger can beat 5.2 plate, but it cannot beat anything above that without extra attacks. So if you really want to be a tank, you need at least 5.2, and you will survive 8.4 attacks. So here's how to determine if you can one-shot a target. For the most part, it won't always be accurate depending on if the target has food, defensive capes, and other kinds of buffs. But essentially, if it's a cloth target, you can engage it with 200 less IP and most likely one-shot them. Very easy. Leather, as long as you have 100 more IP than them, you should be able to one-shot them for the most part. If they have plate, it's going to take you 360 minimum more IP, though you would technically want more. Now, messing around with the shapeshifter weapons, this is not exact. This is estimated. You can do the Hellfire Imp with 200 less IP, but once you one-shot it, it gets back up. It has 2 lives. So you can't technically one-shot the Hellfire Imp at all, but you will force it to run away and be low HP. The Dawnbird, 200 less IP, this thing is squishy as heck. It is basically a cloth wearer. Now, granted, the humanoid forms of the shapeshifter weapons will almost always be wearing soldier armor or guardian armor, by the way. So you have to do this while they're transformed. Shadow Panther, you need 100 more IP, same as Leather. Werewolf, same thing, 100 more IP. You may need a bit more, because both of these forms give them some defensive and lifesteal bonuses. I'd say maybe 150, just to be safe. Now, the Sylvian form is 150 more IP. They're a little bit tankier. The Spirit Bear is 300 more IP. It's not as tanky as a plate wearer, so you can beat this thing up with a little bit less than a regular plate user, but because they're going to be wearing plate in human form, you kind of want to approach them at 360 IP anyway. Runestone Golem is really hard to one-shot. It's the hardest thing to one-shot in the whole game, but if you have a 500 IP advantage over the target, it is still one-shottable in my testing. So there you have it. If you want to do a Dagger pair one-shot build and go kill gatherers or people in the mists, then hopefully this helps you out. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to kill, you know, the really big, juicy people in the mists, but the regular average Joe, the average rat, the average person just out gathering in a black zone, absolutely. And if you, like I said, if you do the stealth mechanic off screen, where you chug an invis pot whenever their nameplate is not visible, and then you go invisible with your assassin jacket, you have the absolute potential to one-shot them before they can even possibly react. I've actually made a video in the past about this, and this one is way more in-depth and shows you exactly what kind of gear you need against what kind of gear they may have. So hopefully you enjoyed it. It's a lot of work put into these videos. Please leave a like, leave a comment, make sure you subscribe, and on the right side of your screen is a video you should absolutely click. If you don't click it, then Sandbox Interactive is going to crack down and make even more stupid rules. I mean, they've already made it where we can't stream snipe people without suffering a ban, which is really dumb for this game. And it's only going to get worse if you don't click the right side of your screen, and no one wants that. No one wants the game to get even more locked down, so make sure you click it.